Overwatch 2 has had a bit of a contentious release, to say the least. From questionable content decisions to server issues followed by an almost impressive lack of communication, the game has seemed doomed to fail right from the start. Blizzard has been tanking their reputation as one of the most respected developers in the industry for a while, and so far, this release isn't really helping them. Now, how bad is it really? Ever since the initial announcement of Overwatch 2, we've been promised a ton of new content. New heroes, new maps, new game modes, and the big one, the PvE story mode that people have been asking for since the game's release in 2016. We did get a fair bit of this on release. So far, we've gotten 6 new maps, New Queen Street, Circuit Royale, Colosio, Midtown, Paraiso, and Esperanza. However, this change also comes with the removal of the 2CP game mode and all of the maps that went along with it. I know a lot of people think the removal of 2CP is a good thing, and I don't disagree, but I am going to miss Hanamura. We've gotten 3 new heroes, Sojourn, Junker Queen, and Kiriko in the DPS, tank, and support roles respectively. Sojourn is a pretty traditional FPS character with an automatic weapon and a railgun. Junker Queen is a drain tank focused on bleeding enemies and providing control, and Kiriko is locked behind the battle pass, but we'll get to that. There are 3 new hero reworks. Orisa no longer has a shield and is a lot more lethal than she used to be. Bastion is no longer a stationary turret, and Doomfist is a tank now. So far, other than maybe some number tweaking, these all seem like good changes. And personally, I'd much rather have Doomfist be a nuisance and disrupt things than have him be a nuisance and disrupt things while one-shotting me with a fully charged rocket fist. Welcome, Tank Doomfist. There's also one new game mode. Push involves a robot that both teams fight over to get it to their checkpoint first, almost like both sides are trying to push the payload at the same time. This game mode is really scrappy and fast-paced, but well-balanced teams might find it a bit tedious to bounce progress back and forth. In addition, a new feature has been added in the form of class passives. Each class, DPS, tank, and support, has a role-specific passive ability that all heroes in that role share. Tanks are affected less by crowd control, DPS move and reload faster after a kill, and all supports heal themselves over time. I think these changes are absolutely a good addition to the game. For example, for a while Overwatch 1 had an issue where tanking felt much more difficult than it needed to, simply because of the amount of displacement in the game. These role passives are a great way to provide a unique flavor to each class and help close the power discrepancy between some of the heroes. Despite the amount of fun new content introduced into the game, the launch really hasn't been very well received, starting even with the name, Overwatch 2. For people that didn't follow along with the development cycle, the new moniker has caused quite a bit of confusion. The game is basically the same, other than some new features and the change from 6v6 to 5v5, so why is it titled like a sequel? Well, the big part of the change from Overwatch to Overwatch 2 is supposed to be the story mode update. Allegedly, this is big enough of a deal to warrant a sequel title. That mode, however, won't be releasing until an undisclosed point in the future. Past the title, the game was immediately criticized for some pretty severe server issues when the update went live. MMO players are no stranger to long login queues on the day of a new expansion release, but some players were still unable to log into the game several days later. In addition, players that had connected their PC and console accounts were experiencing other issues regarding accessing their accounts at all, and these issues went so far that Blizzard took the game offline 3 times in 2 days to address server issues. While it seemed stable since I've had time to play it over the weekend, that's definitely not a good look for what was already a controversial launch. There have been some other points of controversy, but I want to talk about what might be the feature that's caused the most discourse out of everything. The Battle Pass and monetization system. Battle Passes are nothing new in live service games at this point. They've been popular for years, and I for one am actually a fan of them when they're done well. Several games have offered passes that, with a little bit of a grind, provided players with tons of new cosmetic options, in-game currency, and often enough real money currency that you can buy the next pass when that season starts without putting any more money into the game whatsoever. Overwatch 2's Battle Pass has some of this. There's no currency in the pass, which means no opportunity to grind for the next season. You have to buy the pass outright from the shop every time. And there's only a handful of free options. Typically, games include a free version of the pass that gives you enough of a taste to make you want to buy the premium one. While yes, Overwatch 2's pass has a free track, the offerings are limited and consist largely of player icons and a few basic skins. The coolest thing in the Battle Pass, in my opinion, is the level 80 reward, the Cyber Demon Genji skin. This is the first Mythic quality skin added in Overwatch 2, and I definitely get the appeal behind this one. On top of having the qualities that would make the skin a legendary by delivering on a different fantasy for the hero, Mythic skins come with customization options that we haven't seen before. On this particular Genji skin, for example, you can change the design of his weapon, his tattoos, his mask, and even his color palette. I'm excited to see where they go with this, but it's worth noting that these skins are quite a bit of a grind to pick up. On the other end of things, the most controversial part of the pass, and my absolute least favorite, is the new hero, Kiriko. Now the hero is fine. I've played her a little bit and I think she's great, but she's locked a little bit over halfway down the pass for free players, while premium players get access to her upon buying the pass. Heroes in Overwatch have always been unlocked for everyone, so this is definitely not a welcome change, and something that I hope they go away from in the near future. While we're here, we should probably talk about the gameplay at least a little bit. At its core, Overwatch is the same game it's always been. Fast-paced, team-based, competitive shooter focusing around objectives and working together to accomplish a goal. This hasn't changed. The game feels smooth, fast, and exciting. The change from 2 tanks to 1 has made it harder to stall, and it feels as if individual skill matters more than it has in the past. Competitive is in a bit of a tricky spot right now due to the influx of new and returning players combined with players that never stopped, but given a bit of time, matchmaking should work itself out. The in-game scoreboard has been completely revamped as well. It's much easier now to see how everyone, yourself included, is performing. My only real issue with this is the animation coming in makes it so that you have to take a second before you can get to the information you need, and I wouldn't mind that bit of eye candy being removed. Finally, the post-game experience is, well, worse. Following the game, you get to see the play of the game, and that's it. No more medals, no more talking with the team, no more individual achievement cards, just play the game and into the next one. It's kind of disappointing. So let's recap. Overwatch 2 has so far given us some solid new content, including new maps, a new game mode, new heroes, and some fun reworks. It's also had pretty severe server issues, feels a bit unpolished, and has a really terrible monetization scheme. I don't think the game's a lost cause just yet. A lot of the issues are fixable and really just minor tweaks. Some of them, however, are going to require Blizzard to take a step back and reevaluate the monetization and where their priorities lie with the game going forward. I'm hopeful, but I'm also not sure I can see the Blizzard of 2022 going for it. I'm enjoying the game for now. As someone who put a ton of time into Overwatch 1 when it first released, this really does feel like a breath of fresh air and is moving in a direction that's going to help the game go forward. Hopefully they listen to their audience, not just the shareholders, and give this game the life that we all know it can have. That's it for now. Thanks for checking out the video. I say it almost every time, but I really do hope to start doing more of these again. Look for more variety content like this coming up, not just Final Fantasy XIV. And until then, happy gaming.